If you are a cold climate gardener, you know that fall frosts are lethal to tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and all other heat-loving crops. But did you know that there are vegetables that not only withstand cold well, but actually taste better after getting hit by frost? Hello, this is Stephen from shortseasongarden.com, and I offer tips and tricks for gardening in any climate, but especially for short seasons like here in Zone 3 in Eastern Canada. So subscribe to my channel, give my video a thumbs up and a comment. Check me out on social media at Short Season Garden, or go to my website at www.shortseasongarden.com. Gardeners in warmer climes have no choice but to plant different crops in different seasons. They have learned long ago that some plants thrive in the heat, while some do better in the cold. Here in Zone 3 where I live, many people treat vegetable gardening as strictly a summer activity. Some gardeners have learned to plant cold weather crops early, but I know many gardeners who plant their whole vegetable garden all at once after all danger of frost has passed. Similarly, at the end of summer, once the frost has hit, we clean out our gardens and move on to other activities, such as preparation for a long, hard winter. By doing so, we not only cheat ourselves out of a longer season of fresh veggies, but we miss out on the improved flavor of frost-hardened vegetables. Yes, it's true. Kale, carrots, rutabaga, and other cold-tolerant vegetables survive the cold by converting starch to sugar, making these foods much sweeter after they have withstood a few fall frosts. I've often harvested my carrots late into the fall, but this is the second year that I've made a concerted effort to create a fall-winter garden. The concept is simple. Cold-hardy plants will continue to grow until there is less than 10 hours of daylight. After that, regardless of temperature, most growth will cease. So, find out when that date is for your area. For me, it's around November the 1st. And count backwards by the number of days to maturity listed on your seed packet. Add 15 to 20 days to account for slower fall growth. This will tell you when the seeds should be planted for a fall or winter garden. While the concept of a fall garden should work well in any growing zone, winter gardening is only feasible if plants can survive the extremities of cold in your area. Last year, I set out to test this concept in my Zone 3 garden. As a former market gardener who pushed the envelope to get veggies to market early, I have always planted cold-tolerant plants as soon as the ground can be worked in the spring. But I must admit I am relatively new to fall gardening. The biggest problem, first off, was to find space and time in the middle of a summer garden to plant a fall or winter garden. On July 28th, after my earliest peas were done, I replaced them with carrots and beets. The beets skipped badly, but I had a good crop of baby carrots to harvest under a low tunnel in early December. Although the carrots were tasty, the extended season was an extra bonus to the rust flies as well, which had feasted on my summer crop and really infested my late crop. I also built a cold frame with leftover lumber from old cupboards and some old storm windows with the intention of winter gardening. I had the perfect spot for fall. The ground sloped toward the south. The house provided shelter from the wind and probably some extra heat as well. On August 17th, I planted. My beets and carrots were too late to reach full size before growth stopped for the winter, but I had an awesome bunch of greens started. Instead of harvesting them up, I attempted to overwinter them. There was just one problem. Winter snowbanks proved to be too much. Not only did they eliminate any chance that my plants would get any sunlight, but the old glass couldn't stand the weight. So this year I moved my fall garden to another spot. I replaced the broken glass in the storm windows. And painted up the old cold frame. My new spot has its own advantages and challenges. The ground is flat, so my cold frame isn't sloped to the sun like in the old spot. This probably would be more critical for spring growing than in the autumn. The shed and trees provide shelter, but shorten the hours of direct sunlight. I suspect that the tree roots, which use up the snow load in the winter, also rob moisture during the summer and fall. Also, the abundance of pine needles makes for acid soil, which must be ameliorated with lime. I'm really disappointed that my moss didn't grow. It's supposed to be really cold tolerant, and I was looking forward to trying it. I still didn't plant early enough for the carrots and beets to reach full size before the lack of daylight stopped all growth. We misjudged our carrot planting this summer, so ended up using all the fall carrots and beets before the extreme cold really set in. So far, the lettuce, spinach, and Swiss chard is surviving nights down to -7 degrees Celsius, which is below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I put some hoops over my kale with the intent of throwing a row cover over it before the snow comes. Then I decided to opt for a straw bale cold frame instead. Straw is much cheaper than wood these days, and I saved some glass that someone was discarding. They say that kale will survive at 10 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm hoping my cold frame will protect the kale into December and maybe beyond. Who knows? Winter gardening in Zone 3 may be a bit extreme, but fall gardening is certainly possible. If we plant it right next year, I want to be harvesting carrots well into the winter. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and a comment. Subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next video.